This is RTV6 News at 5, working for you.
Good evening to you, and first at 5, we're tracking the potential for severe weather. It's fairly calm outside right now, but strong storms could move into our area later this evening.
It is the Storm Team 6 alert day. We're going to begin with meteorologist Kyle Mounds. Kyle, what should we be preparing for this evening?
Yeah, not to let your guard down, because as mentioned, things are pretty calm out there. We haven't had a whole lot in the way of rain, but that's actually going to change during the overnight hours. Let's show you the Storm Prediction Center's outlook here. And we do have a slight risk for areas of central Indiana shaded in the yellow, and even this enhanced risk from Indianapolis to the state line with Illinois. So you can see that's kind of a 3 on the 5 scale there for the potential of some gusty winds and an isolated tornado. But it's still going to be a few hours before we get that active weather in here. So here's TrueCast, 11:30 tonight. Between now and then, things are fairly quiet here as the timeline has slowed down over the last 24 hours. By the time we get to 2 o'clock in the morning, there you see those thunderstorms over central Indiana. They will continue to dive to the southeast by 4 a.m. around Richmond, Connersville, into the Columbus and Bloomington areas, sliding south and east with the gusty winds from there and out of central Indiana. But here's satellite and radar right now, actually starting to see a little thinning of the clouds. That will only help to fuel additional storms. But I think the next several hours you're okay if you want to head out to the Indiana State Fair. We'll talk more about that severe weather threat in a few minutes.
And with the heavy rain and storms expected late tonight and into the early morning hours, we have the tools to keep you safe. You can download the Storm Shield app, which alerts you to warnings and watches. Also, Chief Meteorologist Kevin Gregory, Kyle Mounts, Todd Clausen, and Alyssa Donovan post everything on the RTV6 app. Both apps are free, so you will probably want to have those apps on your phone and nearby while you are sleeping so you do not miss any important information.
I was known as the girl who got raped. That's what people would look at me and say.
Tonight, a Fishers teenager is sharing her story only with RTV6. Maya Armstrong says a classmate in the Hamilton Southeastern School District sexually assaulted her, and she says the district failed to protect her. Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny has learned the federal government has finished its investigation into the matter, and tonight she explains what they found.
Amaya's parents filed a complaint with the U.S. Department of Education back in February 2018, alleging Hamilton Southeastern schools failed to properly address Amaya's allegations of sexual misconduct. Amaya Armstrong spoke with RTV6 in January 2018 with her face hidden, but now she's ready to come out of the shadows. Amaya says when she was 15 years old, an older classmate forced her to perform sexual acts on him even after she said no. Amaya is now 17 years old and a senior at HSE. What do you think the school could have done better?
I think they could have provided me with resources on how to cope, and instead I had to find that out by myself. There was nothing that they helped me do. They mentioned going to the school therapist, and that was absolutely no help. I didn't want to talk to the school. I felt like the school had kind of turned their backs on me, and I didn't know what to do.
Title IX is a federal law that says a school has a responsibility to respond promptly and efficiently to sexual harassment, including investigating and taking action to end the harassment. In its findings just released to Amaya and her parents, the U.S. Department of Education said it had concerns the district did not appropriately determine whether a hostile environment existed for Amaya following the alleged sexual assault. The feds also had concerns the district did not appropriately follow up on reports that additional students may have been sexually harassed by the same male student.
They didn't talk to people like they could have. They didn't protect. They just didn't know what to do.
The male student is identified in federal documents as Student B. We are not identifying him because he has not been criminally charged. We've been unable to reach him for comment. I'm Call 6 Investigates' Kara Kenny.
As part of its agreement with the feds, HSE has agreed to implement several steps, including improving its Title IX training and improving its documentation procedure of sexual harassment complaints. The district provided this statement, quote, "We participated in a process through the U.S. Department of Education which did not result in any violations. As part of that process, we agreed to share information with the department for a limited period of time. While unrelated to the agreement with the department, we have proactively engaged in efforts to improve our non-discrimination and anti-harassment procedures and professional development opportunities for staff and students. We will continue to monitor and refine all of our practices to reflect our continuing commitment to educational community equity and respect, end quote.
New at 5, the aunt of the teen caught with a gun near Muncie Central High School last week is now talking about her family's side of the story. RTV6's Stephanie Wade spoke to her, and she says her nephew has been dealt a bad hand of circumstances.
It's devastating, the student's aunt tells me, after the 15-year-old brought a loaded handgun to this school. Tonight, she's blaming the system and calling on the Department of Child Services to step in.
My reaction was like, oh my God, is he okay? Where is he at now?
The student's aunt, who prefers we not use her name, says while she would never excuse bringing a weapon to school, her nephew's issues and why he had a gun stem from his troubled home life. She and his mother are no longer close, but says both his parents have been in and out of jail most of his life. She tells me the boy was being bullied and threatened and bought the gun for protection. She says DCS has been involved in the past, but feels not enough is being done to protect her nephew.
And I don't see how a 15-year-old should feel they have to carry a gun to protect themselves just because the system is failing them. No kid should ever have to feel like that.
Coming up at 6, we get an update from police and hear more about the circumstances surrounding this case. Working for you in Muncie, Stephanie Wade, RTV6.
And it may not be until the end of this week before a terrible smell will disappear in a Castleton neighborhood. Indianapolis DPW is working on a drainage project that is supposed to help with flooding within the Castleton Farms neighborhood. That's near 75th and Shadeland Avenue. But because DPW has drained the water from a pond to work on the ongoing drainage problem, there has been a fish kill, which has resulted in a horrible smell. Residents say the smell has been an issue for days and nothing has been done about it. So we reached out to DPW. They told us dredging work on the pond has begun. And depending the weather, the material should be removed by the end of the week.
IMPD officers say they had to shoot and kill an aggressive dog they say attacked multiple people at a home on the east side. Metro Police went to the 2200 block of East Michigan Street around 5 this morning. They found a man suffering from a dog bite. Officers then went into a home where multiple people were hurt after a dog attacked them. When police got into the home, they say the dog charged them and tried to attack them. According to IMPD, 2 officers fired shots, striking and killing the dog. In all, the dog bit and hurt 3 adults and 1 child. They are all recovering tonight. An Indianapolis man driving without a license faces charges in an early morning incident that left a Hendricks County motorcyclist dead. Pittsboro police say 35-year-old Joseph Strong of nearby Liston was southbound on Jeff Gordon Boulevard near I-74 when a pickup truck turned in front of his motorcycle. Police responded to the accident just before 6:30 in the morning. Strong died at the scene. Investigators identified the driver of the pickup as 43-year-old Raymond Rudiga of Indianapolis. He was cited for failure to yield when making a left turn and operating a motor vehicle without ever receiving a driver's license.
Tonight, we will have a better idea of how the city of Indianapolis will spend your tax money in 2020. Indianapolis Mayor Joe Hogsett will present his proposed 2020 budget at tonight's City County Council meeting. Last year, the council approved Hogsett's budget unanimously. Hogsett's budget is expected to keep the city government balanced for the 3rd straight year. He will not present any new taxes on citizens. The largest chunks of the budget are expected to be in public safety, meaning IMPD and IFD, and in criminal justice, meaning courts, judges, jails, and prosecution. Still ahead at 5:30 on RTV6, these young minds are learning big things about some of the smallest beings in our world. How the State Fair is teaching some science next at Hiring Hoosiers.
But first, questions remain about the jail suicide of disgraced millionaire Jeffrey Epstein. What we're finally finding out tonight.
And in addition to tonight's severe weather, we will have some heavy rainfall and localized flooding to watch out for. I'll let you know how long these rain chances are going to last. You're watching RTV6 News at 5.
August 2nd through 18th.
Police say they have nabbed a serial burglar who targeted apartment complexes in Fishers, Carmel, and Indianapolis. The Fishers Police Department says after a months-long investigation, they arrested 36-year-old Satori Cooper from Indianapolis. Cooper is charged with 3 counts of burglary, residential entry, attempted theft, and theft. He's now in the Hamilton County Jail.
Tonight, a huge question remains surrounding the suicide of jailed millionaire Jeffrey Epstein. How was he able to successfully commit suicide in jail just days after a failed attempt? ABC's Maggie Rulli reports police are trying to figure out what happened.
As investigations into the apparent suicide of accused sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein continue, today the Attorney General is promising accountability.
We will get to the bottom of what happened, and there will be accountability.
After being found unresponsive in his cell a few weeks ago, Epstein was taken off suicide watch after he underwent multiple psychiatric evaluations, something the Deputy Attorney General was aware of.
We are now learning of serious irregularities at this facility that are deeply concerning and demand a thorough investigation.
According to sources, guards were supposed to check on Epstein every 30 minutes, but they did not in the hours before he was discovered Saturday morning. The Metropolitan Correctional Center has been understaffed, leading to low morale among guards. And the 2 guards in the special housing unit where Epstein was kept were both on overtime. One of the guards was on his 5th overtime shift of the week.
Was there a crime connected with the suicide? Was someone paid? Was someone else involved? And for there to be criminal charges, you're going to need intentional acts, not just negligence.
Since his death, several of Epstein's accusers say they feel cheated out of an opportunity for justice.
I really wanted him to take up for what he did and to be put in jail or prison.
But the Attorney General promises that Epstein's death will not be the end of the investigation.
Any co-conspirators should not rest easy. The victims deserve justice, and they will get it.
Sources say there are video cameras in the prison, but none of them appear to be pointing towards Epstein's cell. Right now, the FBI and the Office of the Inspector General are investigating. Maggie Rulli, ABC News, New York.
All month long, we are showing you how local schools are preparing students for careers in one district, giving high schoolers the opportunity to get hands-on training with the school's technology staff. It's all part of Indian Creek School's Tech Club. Students who take computer science classes are eligible to join the team. In their senior year, they spend learning from people on the school staff. Isaiah Lacey graduated this year and spent the summer working with the technology staff at Indian Creek Schools. He's learned how to set up workstations, how to re-image a computer, and how to assign devices to certain people, just to name a few things. Lacey says he was torn between 2 career paths, this and sports management. The school gave him the opportunity to take a class in each, and that helped him figure out exactly what he wants to do. And now he's graduated with the experience he needs to land a job.
I was really trying to decide between the sports management field and this field, and I actually got to take 2 classes. 1 in each, and it helped me decide that this is what I wanted to do. This is the way I wanted to go.
Lacey says he is not going straight into the workforce, though he is heading to college to major in computer information systems.
All of your favorite WWE superstars are coming to Bankers Life Fieldhouse in 2 months, but tickets go on sale this week. WWE SmackDown is coming to Indy on Friday, October 18th. WWE champion Kofi Kingston will take on Randy Orton, plus Roman Reigns will go up against Daniel Bryan. Tickets go on sale this Friday at 10 a.m. You can get them at Bankers Life Fieldhouse box office, bankerslifefieldhouse.com. and Ticketmaster.com. Here they come.
Kyle Mounts is here with the weather now, and we are tracking some changes for this evening, Kyle.
Yeah, as we go into the overnight, and a little bit of an unusual timing. Most of the time we expect to see those thunderstorms during the afternoon, but it's going to be later on tonight that those storms may wake you up and you need to be prepared for. You notice the humidity out there today. Let's go ahead and show you the numbers. That humidity up to 69% and that dew point at 70 degrees. So once it gets that high, yeah, it's that tropical air feel that has returned to central Indiana, and our temperature at 81. You also notice as we're looking west, we're starting to see some breaks in that cloud cover that will only help to kind of destabilize things here a little bit and add some fuel to those late night storms. 84 right now in Columbus, 76 though in Crawfordsville, and 79 in Tipton, as clouds have largely kept a lid on those temperatures. You can see so far we've had a few showers and downpours that have been developing north of the RTV6 area, but it's back in Iowa and Illinois where we will be watching our thunderstorms to come from later on on tonight, and specifically that timeline between about 11 o'clock tonight and 6 o'clock tomorrow morning. Those storms will move through with some damaging winds, and that isolated tornado threat also something we'll be watching for you. Here's TrueCast 11:30 tonight. Again, things are fairly quiet, but we start to see those thunderstorms moving in from the west. By 2 a.m., rumbling through here along and north of Interstate 70 around Indianapolis toward Crawfordsville, Veedersburg at that point. By 4 a.m., the focus shifts toward the south and east of Indy, a little closer to Columbus, Greensburg, and Connorsville. Even Richmond going to be dealing with the storms at that point. But then as we get into tomorrow morning's rush hour, should be seeing that thunderstorm activity pretty much out of the area. But make sure you got that RTV6 app, the Storm Shield app as well. We'll continue to keep you updated through there as we go through the overnight hours. Your Tuesday forecast, still hold on to the chance for a few showers out there, but largely it's going to be a dry day for us. Still warm and humid though, with temperatures making their way back into the 80s. Around 84 degrees for your afternoon high in Bloomington, 83 in Muncie, pretty much where we should be for this time of year. TrueCast as we go throughout Tuesday again shows that isolated storm as the front kind of hangs up around Seymour tomorrow. This is at 10:30 in the morning, but otherwise it's just a couple of isolated showers as we go through the evening. And we certainly aren't going to need a whole lot more rainfall on top of the heavy rain we're expecting tonight. A little bit of a chance to dry out, not a bad thing here. As we go through those temperatures, yeah, it does bring in some cooler, less humid air for the middle and end of the week. In your 7-day planning forecast now, as we put it all together, those rain chances moving out, partly sunny skies for your Wednesday. A little more sunshine here for the end of the week, and those temperatures do rebound pretty quick here. We're into the upper 80s, close to 90 degrees over the weekend. Small chance for a few showers on Saturday.
We're watching what happens tonight.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted.
All right, thanks, Kyle.
Well, for the first time in 3 years, Chick-fil-A has added a new side dish to the menu.
Yeah, starting today, the chicken chain is selling macaroni and cheese. It's available as a side for any lunch or dinner. You can get it by itself as well. Chick-fil-A says its take on mac and cheese includes a special blend of cheddar, Parmesan, and Romano cheeses.
Chick-fil-A also says its employees will make the mac and cheese fresh in their restaurants every day. Yum, I love mac and cheese.
Well,
I'm looking forward to that. Well, two strangers become family all because two people made a life-altering decision. Their incredible story next on the News at 5.
Hello, I'm Ted Rollins with Court TV Live. We're following several cases today. In Florida, Grant Amato is facing the death penalty. He's already been found guilty of murdering his mother, father, and brother. Amato needed money to fund his obsession with a Bulgarian webcam girl named Sylvia. And when he ran out of money, he stole from his family to fuel his addiction. Now he could pay for his crime with his life. The penalty phase of this trial is underway. The same jury that found him guilty is now deciding whether to recommend a sentence of life in prison or the death penalty. Another case we're covering in Tennessee, Eric Boyd is facing first-degree murder and rape charges for his role in a vicious attack on a young couple in West Knoxville. The jury in that case will have to decide if they hold Boyd accountable for the murders despite the fact that there is no physical evidence linking him to the attack which took place 12 years ago. We'll have those stories and much more throughout the day on Court TV. I'm Ted Rollins. Now back to you in the studio.
Well, you can follow these cases and many others whenever and wherever you want on CourtTV.com. A life-changing experience has brought two strangers together for life.
59-year-old Scott LaCove's battled kidney issues for years. Now, he fought hard enough to stay off dialysis, which increased his chances of being able to obtain a new kidney. After searching far and wide for a kidney donor, LaCove's found Marty Miller through the vast world of social media, not knowing Miller lived just a mile from his home in Wellington, Florida.
Yeah, the two matched up medically for a kidney transplant, and the surgery took place on June 5th. 8 weeks later, both say they have healed well. Both LaCoves and Miller gained new scars, but found more than they ever imagined.
It's not friendship, it's family. You know, our families have just merged together.
Now, LaCove's and Miller's birthdays are just a few days apart this month. They plan to celebrate this weekend with a miracle birthday party.
LaCove's wanted to share this story to encourage others to consider donating an organ to save another person's life. I love that lifelong bond now, right?
Incredible.
Coming up all new at 6 o'clock here on RTV6, median confusion. New barriers on two busy Indianapolis streets mean new limits on left turns. We'll explain how this all works coming up.
But first on the Now Indy, the surprise one mother and son will never forget. It shows that attitude and work ethic really matter. You're watching RTV6.